Hey, what is up everybody? So as most of you know by now and are eagerly awaiting anything we can get on Spider-Man Homecoming, which is of course coming at us in just under a year now, we are pretty much scraping the barrel for any details we can get. But this comes from an official source, of course, being the president of Sony. Now, this was during an interview where Tom Rothman was kind of standing there. He got asked, and he's excited. He talked about how much he loved Civil War and how he thought that was a great movie and great introduction to Spider-Man. But then the conversation shifted over to talking about the future of Spider-Man in the MCU, and specifically what Sony was going to do with him, what he thinks about it, the excitement levels, and all that. And during this, I thought it was interesting that he goes on and talks about, how lucky he is to be in this position where Marvel is going to oversee everything and, hopefully deliver the best Spider-Man we've ever seen. And then he goes on and with words, even though we haven't had an official press release, confirms that yes, Michael Keaton is in fact in this movie. Now, what he did say is rather interesting, and that's that Michael Keaton, whoever he might be playing, isn't going to be on set to shoot the movie for a while, which kind of begs the question of who exactly is he playing. A lot of people are speculating, is he the Vulture? Well, if he's the Vulture, then wouldn't he have a bigger role to play in the movie itself? Because if he's the main villain, then technically, he should be a good highlight of the movie and hopefully not just a blip that gets defeated and the rest of the movie is just kind of not there. I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Which then makes me question, could he actually be Norman Osborn? Which was the other big question, could he be the businessman they talk about and you never see up until he actually finally shows up? Now, the next piece I really enjoyed when he talked about this, and this was about Robert Downey Jr., who is, of course, Iron Man, and how much he says he loved the idea of this, and, how it just came naturally to be, and how it's not just a shoehorned integration or anything like that, and I'm simplifying his words, and, he really talks about how great it is to see Robert Downey Jr. in here and how the story is kind of just naturally picking up from where it left off, so everything kind of makes sense, and that they're really lucky to just have him in here to be able to carry that over and bring it that, just like the highlight you would need. I mean, just imagine this movie if Spider-Man was alone and there was no fallout of Civil War. That just wouldn't feel right to anybody, I don't think. And he just goes on and says that story-wise, this was a must-have thing. It was something that they must do just due to the relationship these two have. I mean, Spider-Man wouldn't have his current suit, his current web shooter or anything if it wasn't for Iron Man, so that was like a natural progression. So overall, it seems like Rothman is pretty excited, and a lot of people were very of, Rothman when he came in to Sony. I mean, he was over there making some of the worst decisions in Fox history. He was the man behind X3, he was the man behind X-Men Origins and that debacle, so it seems like he doesn't really have necessarily all the say in this, and he can't mess everything up, and he's just letting, he's just writing the checks while Marvel is going to be telling them what to do and producing the movies, which is honestly probably the best choice. And I'm honestly super excited for this movie. I think you guys all know that, and just when they talk about it, you can tell that there's this, love that's there for these characters, but not just Spider-Man. When he talks about having Iron Man in this, you can tell how grateful they are that people are giving a shit again about Spider-Man, which is something that hasn't really been in the movie since Spider-Man 2, really. I mean, 3 had hype, but then after that it was all downhill, so super psyched. You guys let me know your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts and opinion? Let me know down below.